Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our weekly game reviews. This is Storm, Commissioner of the SADL, and yeah, like I said, we have another weekly review here. This is week 6. We only have 5 matches to review this week. Unfortunately, we had another forfeit due to some scheduling issues. Nothing too crazy there. Not like last time where we had an issue with uh, a coach that was incommunicado. Just scheduling issues basically delayed it, and eventually the match just had to be declared a forfeit. So only 5 matches we'll be looking at this week, but so kind of short on the shorter side. But we'll get into these matches. Very exciting week. I think, in my opinion, a lot of really good games. So we'll see what's up. First match is Vanny of the Diamond Defenders versus Jake of the Washington Wishmakers. So let's get this started. We see a Rhyperior lead into the Masquerain. Obviously, this is, as you can see, this is Sticky Web's lead here. And we see trade with the Stealth Rocks, Terra Water, misses the Hydro Pump, and then we see the Rock Blast come out. I will say one thing about this turn. I really would have liked to have seen the Rock Blast come out first. Um, I think that would have been great. Is just kill this thing, get it off the map. And the thing is that this Rhyperior is pretty hard to revenge kill. I think it basically Swampert probably is the only thing that's able to revenge kill it. Hitmontop probably doesn't OHKO it. Or neither does Iron Valiant, I imagine. They might be able to. I'd have to look at the calcs. But I would love to have seen a Rock Blast just right off the rip, kill this Masquerain, get it out of the way, push that advantage, get your rocks up later. Also, we don't see a Terra come out, which is I think is fine. He has 2 of his Terra captains. Vanny does, and we see one of them come out. The Articuno. We see a Terra Psychic. I remember prepping with Vanny. This was supposed to be Terra Flying, but he went with Terra Psychic anyways. Um, and we see a Hurricane. I believe this is Calm Mind. So really, truthfully, I would have loved to have seen a Calm Mind here, just set up more on this because I believe it's Hurricane, Calm Mind, and so one of the things that we prepped for was or I kind of helped with the prep was like Rillaboom being a potential problem. It wasn't brought, and there's a possibility that this thing could have won if he gets up a Calm Mind and goes for stored powers. Because I imagine even after a knockoff, it probably lived in Earthquake. Um, so, anyways, but it switches out after the knockoff, gets some decent damage off. We see an Ice Beam come out. I guess maybe fishing for a freeze. That should have just been a Dark Pulse to get as much damage as possible. Maybe even get a flinch. But unfortunately, Darkrai goes down there. And we do see the Annihilate come out on webs, which is great. Moltres switches in, see a bulk up. And a Hurricane. Unfortunately, Rage Fist doesn't do a lot. It does avoid the confusion, but another Hurricane. I guess, a little bit of luck on that part right there, getting back-to-back Hurricanes from the Moltres. We see the Articuno come out, force a switch, no U-turn there, and the +2 stored power is, like I said, it was stored power. I really think that there was a possibility that if he calm minded on the Swampert, he just wins. I don't think there's any. I think this him on top. I think wind up revealing. He does have priority, so maybe not as GG, but I just feel like that should have been the play there. Another competitive boost, but the Masquerade is faster, so it's able to pick up the kill. Masquerade doing a lot. He's one thing I will say. Jake is really good with this Masquerade. He uses it in a lot of different ways, but as well, and just kind of benefits. We've seen an Electro Shot come out. I don't hate this because it hits everything on the team except for the Swampert. Right here, though, we see the Draco come out. Now, this Swampert is Assault Vest, and I think if people have been paying attention to the damage before this, it's pretty obvious this Swampert is very specially bulky, potentially Assault Vest. So the Draco Meteor is not a good play. Yes, you are +1, but you're also +2 defense, and then get +3 after this. I don't see the point in Dracoing, especially the second Draco. That should have 100% been a body press. The first Draco, um, missing sucks, but I really think that we should have saw a body press come out. Um, but anyways, We see the Masquerade comes out, goes for the Bug Buzz just to get the sure damage. I'm pretty sure, very likely a Hydro Pump would have killed there, but Bug Buzz for the sure damage. It will die to Body Press. We see eventually. So Archolodon cleaning up a bit here, but will die to Flamethrower. Yeah, the HP on this Archolodon was too valuable. I really think that we should have saw Body Press come out because this Archolodon, it probably could have won the game from that position had it not just been spamming Draco into an Assault Vest Swampert. That, according to Jake, I don't know how true this is, it needed a crit to kill. So he got the lucky crit. He really should have just been body pressing that Swampert because your defense was being raised the entire time. You got 2 free defense raises. We see a Moonblast come out. This is a bit of a misplay because uh, Vanny, not Vanny, sorry. Jake doesn't have anything that resists Psychic. He has 2 Pokemon that are weak to Psychic, and he has this Moltres. So this Moonblast was not the play. Obviously, he U-turns out, but I definitely think Psychic was the play there. We see a physical. Unfortunately, bringing the physical this week, out of most weeks, Jake brings special, and I think I don't know if it would have necessarily mattered in the end at the end of the day, but special Valiant might have been able also to tip this game in the favor if it was special. Spirit Break does a lot, also weakens special attack. Sucker Punch, though, surprised to see it go for a Sucker Punch. I'm guessing it didn't run Mach Punch, or not Mach Punch, Bullet Punch this game, because Bullet Punch would have obviously been a lot safer and easier to pick off the kill. So unfortunately, some very close match, misplays there by Vanny. Like I said, I think the body press should have came out. I think it would have done great into killed the Swampert. And sorry, cough. That's a weird cough. It's like stuck in my chest. But I think it would have done great, killed the Swampert, and probably could have finished up this game. I mean, there's only so much damage Hitmontop can do to a +3, +4 Archulodon. So I think I would have liked to have seen that come out, and then also maybe a Psychic perhaps as well, because Psychic would have been able to kill the Moltres, and Gardevoir could have been left with more HP. I really don't know. I think this game could have turned out a lot differently had those 2 plays came out maybe in Vanny's favor. Really, those are 2 big misplays that kind of sealed the game there. Really, the not going for the body press and not clicking Psychic. I imagine I think there's a possibility because when Spirit Break did 70%, obviously to get a special attack drop, but we saw the Moonblast was able to kill the uh, the Valiant after the special attack drop. So I think if a Psychic would have came out, it probably kills the Moltres, leaves the Gardevoir with a lot more HP, and there's a possibility Sucker Punch doesn't even kill. So uh, could have been a different outcome, obviously, if those 2 plays that happened. Obviously, I'm talking a lot about misplays. If y'all haven't seen my match, please go watch it. We suffered our first loss. We were 5-1 in the season, and it's just a great example of um, just making small plays, even if they're not necessarily plays that are going to 100% lose you the game. But like in my case, where I just made some, I would have. I made plays and unfortunately I got unlucky, so my plays wound up hurting me. So that really and truthfully that's just the nature of Pokemon. You have to have your end game mapped out, and that's something that I've usually been pretty good at. I think it's one of my strong suits in competitive Pokemon. I've been playing it for years. Is just figuring out my end game, figuring out what the pieces I have remaining, how I win. And unfortunately, I did not do that last week, or this week, should I say, and it cost me my match. So that's just another example here where it's just like you click the body press, you click the Psychic, there's a better chance of you winning the game. But we'll move on to our second match. Here we have Brady of the New Jersey Jinx versus St. Wumples, coach of the Anchorage Bearticks. So we'll start this match real quick. We see a smart Thunderous lead into a rain team that Wumples has brought. Smart Volt switch out, get there are no immunities on Brady's side. So even if he switches to something to resist the electric volts, electric attack, he can switch out. We see very interesting to see this Diancie switch out in front of the Hitmonlee. We do see a fake out though, and unfortunately, Hitmonlee will burn its normal gym and therefore burn its Unburden. See the Araquanid come out to get up webs. And I like this play, knowing that this Raquinid. I mean, I imagine water boosted liquidation probably did a decent chunk to this Urshifu. But I kind of like the idea of just going out and just getting in your strongest Pokemon. We see, I think this was banded with Tailwind support. See a lunge come out. I don't know if this thing had liquidation. I would have liked to have seen a liquidation come out from this Raquinid. It probably would have done a lot more to this Urshifu. But two Surging Strikes will finish off the Raquinid. And we see the Meowscarada come out. No more Tailwind. Yeah, the Tailwind had petered out. Yeah, Tailwind petered out at the end of the turn. We see the Meowscarada coming out to scare out the smart U-turn too. Obviously, this was not Protean. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Protean probably kills this. And then we see a Sludge Wave. Very interesting. Very interesting play right here because afterwards, Wumples said that he was trying to predict a flying type move from Thundurus. Thundurus doesn't learn any flying type moves, or at least any strong ones. Um, so the Sludge Wave was the only move he could go for. I really think Brady should have calced to see how much an electric move would have done into even a grass Lurantis, not even predicting the Terra. But yeah, I think that should have been the play. And if it killed, then it killed. And obviously, if it Terra, which he didn't know at the time, it would have been able to pick that off as well. So unfortunately, we see a Sludge Wave here. This is a pretty pivotal point because he does get this defog off. And then the Volt Switch will kill the Lurantis, though. But obviously, that's a very pivotal play right there, getting rid of those webs. Very weird to see a straight switch from the Meowscarada. I think a U-turn here is just always the play to obviously this thing can't be scarfed. You know, it's a Ogre Pond. So I would have think U-turn there just to get a little bit of chip, but we see a knockoff come on to the Hitmonlee. It forces it out, forces the Ogre Pond out, obviously. See the fake out come out once again. Switch in the Thunderous, smart switch. Tailwind goes back up, but once again, this Thunderous is in a very good position. We see the wild bolt storm. I've like seen that move twice. Thunder wave, kind of. I mean, I guess it worked out on that play. But sludge wave into the and great, very interesting to see this thing brought into the rain. Just because obviously your Ivy Cudgel is weakened, and you have to rely heavily on grass type moves, which means that something like a Thunderous can kind of wall you. But we see the knockoff. This is a decent chunk. Two sludge waves though will finish off the Ogre Pond though. Nice full switches. Thundurus is very key to Brady's victory in this match. Draining Kiss, though, unfortunately, into the Hitmonlee. And he kept. Wumples keeps switching his Diancie out against this. I guess he doesn't want to take the damage. I understand that. I believe it was an Assault Vest Diancie, so it's very important for dealing with like both these two Pokemon. So I guess he's wanting to preserve the HP, but it's very weird to see him constantly switch it out of this Hitmonlee when it had Draining Kiss. Because once it close combats you, Draining Kiss, you probably either kill it or recover so much HP, then you can pivot out. But he always had to pivot into this Pelipper anyways, because we just see that Hitmonlee doesn't really have a way to hit it. Terra Fight, close combat, only doing 31%. I would have loved to have seen a Swords Dance on that second roost just to force the Pelipper to a difficult situation, but a smart switch um, and a smart prediction with the Flash Cannon. I like that he brought Flash Cannon just for this Diancie because obviously it turns out that it was Assault Vest. And obviously, Flash Cannon is going to be the way to do the most damage to his Diancie. So very smart. Forces in the Urshifu as well to get a little bit of chip on it. So not a bad play at all. See the Hitmonlee come out. It gets a Drain Punch. So Urshifu does recover a little bit. Once again, the Meowscarada coming out. And what do we see? Oh, we do see the Flower Trick. Does a lot to the Pelipper. We'll be able to get rid of the Pelipper, so no more rain after these turns, which is good for Brady. And see the Thundurus switch smartly into the Tornadus. Unfortunately, though, the Hurricane lands, of course, and a confusion on the Thunderwave. This was a pretty big turn. Obviously, it's luck, very luck bit dependent. Very big turn for Wumples getting that confusion hit off on the Thundurus because that Thunderwave, I mean, it could have stopped the substitute or it could have, just really crippled this Thundurus later down the line. So after this, I don't really like this play because we see a knockoff come out and of course the Hurricane's going to pick it up. I don't. I'm pretty sure this Meowscarada didn't have triple axle. If it did have triple axle, the play there was always a triple axle, break the substitute, get some damage off. or go into something else that is not as threatened by this Thundurus. Like, something like the Curum, who can scare it out with the Ice Beam. Um, obviously, Wumple's team doesn't have good Ice Beam switch-ins. I mean, this thing takes a lot from it. Diancie is weakened, and obviously this is weak to it. But he gets a knockoff, and then we see the Ursaluna come out, and unfortunately, we see a Blood Moon come out into the Tornadus on a substitute, very smart substitute, because now you can't Blood Moon again. We see a Hurricane. Moonblast comes out. I would have loved to have seen this run Hyper Voice, but I kind of understand the Moonblast. Hyper Voice can sometimes be iffy, but see another Hurricane come out. It does a lot of damage to Ursaluna. So now it's basically Curum versus the world here. Uh, Sack the Diancie to the Ice Beam. This Curum did not have Freeze Dry. If it had Freeze Dry, I just straight up won here in this point, but it did not have the Freeze Dry. Unfortunately, it was packing Ice Beam, Earth Power. We do see a freeze into an immediate thaw, but that's just GG at that point. So very unfortunate. Kind of a little bit of Haxie at the end there, but obviously Wumple's played to his outs well. Some misplays by Brady, some bad prep by Brady as well. Not terrible prep, but they're not even really bad. Just unfortunate prep. Not bringing the freeze dry, so that way you could have cleaned up. Which, I mean, he can't foresee how that's going to happen. Yeah, no freeze dry. I think that no triple axle, this not being Protean either, two things that really hurt Brady in this match, unfortunately. So we'll move on to our third match. We have Yee Haw Haw Yee of the House of Mouse versus Manny of the New York Munchlax. So start this match. See the Slitherwing lead into the Jolteon. This is going to force an immediate switch on Manny's part into his Enamorus, which is a great counter to this Pokemon. Cryogonal comes out, goes back into the Jolteon. Volt Switch does a decent chunk. Pretty sure that Jolteon is Specs. Rapid Spin. I'm not really sure the Rapid Spin play. Obviously, there are no hazards up. Doesn't do anything to Metagross. Would have rather have seen like Fish for a Freeze or something. I guess maybe you could say whatever you switch into, he'll be faster then, but it's not like Cryogonal is a great offensive Pokemon. Anyways, Smart Golurk switch. Reading the Brick Break. Obviously, I guess the Brick Break could have been for the Gambit, which makes sense. I would have loved to have just seen Steel Move come out there. It would have hit this Golurk, obviously. And it would have been a decent amount to King Gambit, at least weaken it. But I can understand the Brick Break, the tech, trying to get the read. Uh, Poltergeist does a decent amount to the Chin Pao. And obviously reading that it would force a switch. This is another risky, very bold plays coming out for Manny, and I can't hate it, but we see the Sacred Sword come out on the Ghost type, knowing that he can force it out. I would have loved to have just seen a crunch there. Obviously, King Gambit is always the thing that you fear switching into that because it resists both of the stabs, or it was actually immune to Metagross's Psychic Stab. But I mean, Crunch is going to do a lot. This is a banded Chin Pao. It's going to do a lot to this King Gambit. I like the aggressive reads. One time it didn't pay off. The other time it did pay off. But I think a crunch with there would have been fine. We see the Golurk coming out. Nice, very, very tricky read, knowing that it's banded. Obviously, that Chin Pao could have not been banded, and it would have just killed the Golurk. So kind of just a hope and a prayer there, really and truly. So either way, though, it was a correct play, and we do see the Chin Pao get scared out. We see Zapdos come in, eats the Poltergeist. We see his revealed Citrus Berry. We see the substitute to proc the Citrus Berry. And this is a great play by Manny, realizing that if he subs up on this play, he burns his Citrus Berry, and Poltergeist can't affect him. Basically meaning that this Zapdos is immune to both of Golurk stabs. See, the Stone Edge is not enough to break the sub after a +1. See another Stone Edge come out. Smart switch here. I think that at the end of the day, it's kind of risky because obviously that Zapdos could have just attacked, but we do see a sub up here. Haze comes out, great tech with the Haze Greninja, Thunderous Kick, and it is Sash as well. So nice little tech here from Yeehaw to kind of preserve the Zapdos being able to do too much into his team. Acrobatics will clean it up though. The Golurk comes back out. Doesn't take much from the acrobatics. Even neutral acrobatics does a lot. But Stone Edge will, of course, kill. I'm pretty sure this is a no guard. Would make sense. The Crunch finally comes up. We see the Chin Pao not over predicting, leading to a safe switch in from the Gambit. Of course, forces a switch. See the Quackle Ball come out. See Stealth Rocks from the Gambit. I like that. Kind of putting an unexpected move. Uh, this Slitherwing will eat up this close combat from Quack. We see it is actually eject button. That's interesting tech. Seed Flare does nothing into the Enamorous, but does drop the special defense, so this does prompt a switch into the Jolteon, which doesn't take it very well, but we're going to try to see a Terra Ice, and the Shaman reveals that it is Scarf. So kind of I say a wasted kill there, but like, at the end of the day, that was a kill that, a death, I guess, that could have been avoided, not necessarily avoided on Mandy's part, but, it's good tech. You switch in, you don't expect it, and then boom, next thing you know, you're dead. Obviously, Chin Pao forcing out this Shaman. Very interesting, actually, to see it force it out. Because it's Scarf. I guess maybe Yeehaw thought it was Scarf. So either way, that's a good Scarf bluff by Manny if it was intentional. And that we see the get rid of the air balloon from the King Gambit. So like I said, it's a good Gambit, or a good not Gambit, but bluff, should I say, from Manny with the Chin Pao there. Obviously, the Quack comes in, and then this is revealed to be special King Gambit. It's very interesting. I know this was like ran. I think Joey did a video with it, so it's very interesting to see this come out. I think physical King Gambit is just always the way to go. It's just that much stronger. But Quack eats that Dark Pulse very well. Um, Interesting to see him go for the close combat, knowing this King Gambit can't hurt you. I would have loved to have seen an Aqua Step. Um, so it gives you potential to 1v1 this thing because we know it's not Scarf, it was eject button. Switches to the U-turn. See the Gambit come out. And this is what happens here. Risky Calm Mind. So here's the thing. I understand this Gambit is now special, so it's not as threatening into this Enamorous. But Gambit is pretty much always faster than Enamorous. So very ballsy Calm Mind, because I don't even know if this thing lives a Flash Cannon into another Flash Cannon. But it kind of pays off here. We see Acrobatics eject button. That's pretty good tech from Yeehaw. That explains why the eject button is there. But in Iron Defenses, the Acrobatics doesn't do enough, and we'll see a Draining Kiss be able to give a lot of recovery to this Enamorous. And Manny takes his time just to set up. He's like, you can't kill me. I have HP recovering from leftovers. I can set up some Iron Defenses. I can set up some Calm Minds just to secure this win. Very smart by Manny, not rushing it. Just trying to rush it with 1 or 2 boosts and try to win the game and clean up. Basically, kind of getting this checkmate with the Iron Defenses and the Calm Minds. Once he gets to a good enough level, he feels like he can win the game. Draining Kiss. Decent recovery. We'll see the Gambit come out. And here it is revealed this Enamorous is actually faster than King Gambit, which is very interesting there. And then Dazzling Gleam does absolutely nothing. Draining Kiss, Enamorous is able to clean up with 3 kills there at the end. So crazy, very ballsy game by Manny. That's what I can think of. He bluffs a Scarf at one point. I suppose that was the intention of that play. He sets up in front of a Pokemon that does super effective damage. Uh, you know, some ballsy plays that ended up winning him the game. I mean, so I can't fault him for it. Honestly, I like what I saw there. So moving on to our 4th match, we have Board Addict, coach of the Minnesota Glow Kings, versus one of our co-commissioners here, Fiery Vortex or Vortex Titan, coach of the Dewey Duwats. And if you could tell by the thumbnail, you probably already know how this match went. But, well, not necessarily. You probably know the direction this match went, but it's a very good match, and it might throw you off guard. So we see Thundurus lead into the Alolan Ninetales. Not Thundurus, sorry, Raikou leading to the Alolan Ninetales. Immediate Volt Switch out, obviously. See the Aurora Veil. I love this this Alolan Sand Slash tech into the little Ninetales. Um, use Fiery Vortex's his snow against him. He's brought the snow a lot. I think he's brought it 3 or 4 weeks so far. So I do like that idea. See the spike setup, very interesting for Vortex to stay in here, obviously. And we see a baton pass out. See the Corviknight come out. Obviously, it pretty much walls this thing. And we see a U-turn, reveals it is Rocky Helmet on the Alomola. We see the Ninetales come out, threatening it with a Freeze Dry. And we see the Hatterene come out. And I'm surprised Hatterene takes this a little from this Freeze Dry. We see the Ninetales Baton Pass back out into the Corv because it can usually deal with most versions. But a smart Baton Pass, giving himself the momentum, very smart prep. I like the Baton Pass on the Hatterene. Chiyu comes out, is going to scare Corviknight out all day. Samurott comes in, obviously, is going to be able to. It takes a lot, 37% from this behind screens is crazy. But we see the Olomola come out. This Olomola is a big problem for Vortex's team. Unfortunately, it misses Ceaseless Edge, so no spikes. See the Corv come back out. Protect Reed. I mean, can't really say that's a bad play. I think the best play there is just a flip turn. But defog here to get rid of the spikes. Flip turn into the Corviknight. Take some chip. Obviously, Regenerator will heal that up. Chiyu comes in. Now, this, of course, puts Vortex in a bad situation. We see the Ladio switch in. Very risky. Very risky because a dark move could have came out right here. But it ends up being something way worse because, and honestly, this is great prep by Board Addict. Using the Flame Charge, taking advantage of how much pressure that this Chiyu can put on Vortex's team to get free Flame Charge set up. And now the Vortex put in a very difficult position, and he's basically forced to sack a Skeledirge. I don't say it's dead weight in this match, but it doesn't have the greatest value in this game. So we see the Skeledirge sack, Samurai coming in to force it out, flip turn, smart flip turn to get some momentum back. By this point in the match, I was spectating this match live. Vortex was getting heavily outpositioned and outplayed. Like, it was really, really bad. Obviously, as you can see, it just everything he was trying to do, he could not do the way he wanted it. And great prep by Board Addict, really and truly, is the big decision maker here. But gets his Ninetales back in, gets the Aurora Veil smartly, but takes an Iron Head, avoids the flitch, but we see the baton pass out to get in Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is great in this matchup. It does phenomenal. Um, but of course, the Sand Slash is faster and gets the Iron Head flinch. Obviously, Baxcalibur not taking much, gaining both Aurora Veil plus the Snow defense boost. But two flinches, unfortunately. Now the Snow runs out this turn, and I don't want to say it was 100% the play, but I really think that we should have seen a Dragon Dance come out from the Baxcalibur now that this Alolan Sand Slash is not faster than it. Obviously, it loses the defense boost, but there's not much on, you know, Board Addict's team that this Baxcalibur really and truly fears. So we see the Corviknight switch out. I think this should have happened earlier. Either a third Dragon Dance should have happened on that turn, or potentially should have switched out in this Corviknight earlier. We do see some chip come in the Corv. I mean, from the Rocky Helmet onto the Sand Slash. Smart Roost, keep your Corviknight healthy. See a body press. I guess it's kind of like a throwaway turn. Mystical Fire does absolutely nothing to this Corv. Then we see the U-turn come out, weakening this Hatterene. And we see Ninetales come out, Baton Pass into the Alolan Sand Slash. So no Veil. I don't like the throwaway of this Ninetales either. This is some misplaying. I think Vortex is kind of off of his game now because, like I said, this is phenomenal positioning, phenomenal play coming out from Board Addict. But we see the Corv come in. Obviously, it's going to force out. I think we see a U-turn. We see a body press. Roost up. Let's see a Wish come out, I think. Yeah, Smart Wish. U-turn into the Olomoa, and we see Baxcalibur come out on a flip turn. The Hatterene comes out. Get big wish there, obviously, keeping this Hatterene healthy. This Olomoa is a thorn in Vortex's side. See the Ladio switch into a Draining Kiss, unfortunately. It does reveal that it is Recover. But the Draining Kisses, so this is obviously not great rolls. We do see the Shadow Ball come out from the Latios, and the Latios reveals that it is Life Orb. Does a decent chunk to the this chip though is very important. I do like the Force Out, and we see the Samurai coming in to get spikes up. This late game spikes to potentially help, and gets pretty get lands both of his ceaseless edges and gets a crit. That's very important. We see the alluring voice come out from the Olamoa, and then Baxcalibur comes in now. Baxcalibur is positioned perfectly in this match. And Board Addict, I don't want to say he misplays it. Uh, Obviously, hindsight's 50-50, or 2020, sorry. The best play is always switching to Hatterene here, obviously, because you don't want to risk a scale shot. This Baxcalibur being faster than your entire team. I will say one thing. One of the best Pokemon that Board Addict had into Vortex's team was Scissor. Scissor did phenomenal into Vortex's team. It resists see dual stabs of one, two, three of the Pokemon he brought. Um Corviknight, Corviknight obviously can kind of wall it. Skeledirge is a problem for it. Samurott is not really either here nor there for it. Obviously resists Bullet Punch, but doesn't want to eat a U-turn or a close combat. So I'm surprised because Scissor would have done phenomenal in this match and would have done phenomenal against this Baxcalibur. We see all five hits from the scale shot, exactly what Vortex needed. And that crit from that Samurott earlier was also plays a big part into this as well. So now his Baxcalibur is fast. Spike's getting up too huge. Icicle Spear is able to clean up this Hatterene. Crit didn't matter, obviously, as we can see the rolls. Sand Slash comes out. No snow, so it can't be faster than Baxcalibur. Dies to the Earthquake. Regidrago comes out. So this was a big pivotal moment here. This Regidrago has three Terra. It's a Terra Cat that has three Terra types: Fire, Steel, Dragon. Uh, Steel and Fire. So obviously the play here, really and truthfully, is never Dragon move. Or never Ice move, because Fire and Steel obviously both resist that. It's highly unlikely it's Dragon. So if you Dragon move and it does happen to be Dragon, or it doesn't Terra, predicting an Earthquake, then you're good. However, though, if you Earthquake and it doesn't Terra, more than likely it's not going to be Terra Dragon. I say most cases this thing is not going to be Terra Dragon, even though it is potentially powerful. Um, if you Earthquake, I don't think Earthquake kills this thing, even with the Spikes chip. It's too bulky. It has like what 200 base HP, right? So uh, we see that it is Terra Fire predicting a potential Ice move, which, like I said, is never the play. This thing should always go for either, which Scale Shot probably doesn't kill it, to be honest. But we see the Earthquake come out. So obviously the play there for Board Addict is not to Terrasilize. And Vortex makes the correct call with the Earthquake, and it's enough to kill the Regidrago, and this is GG. Too many Earthquake weak Mons on the field. Obviously, Board Addict bringing three of them. It's very interesting to see this many Earthquake weak Mons, especially when you consider that if Sand was brought, I mean, Sand went crazy into Board Addict's team. So it's very the bigger reason why Snow was brought, or Veil was brought on the side of Vortex, was because of Chi needing things to be able to switch in and sponge hits. Having Veil up helps with that. But I think Sand would have done well into Board Addict's team, honestly. Obviously, Lomoa would have been the last bastion of defense there. And then, obviously, another Earthquake Weak Mon means that Baxcalibur will clean up. So, Baxcalibur, put in the right position, proves he is the GOAT, apparently. Down 2-6, and he just basically gets the hits he needs from the scale shot and just cleans up from there. 1v6 is there with a late game comeback. So very, very good game. I think one of the games of the year so far, one of the performances of the year from Baxcalibur as well. Vortex Titan, Fiery Vortex, whatever he wants to be called, because he has two different names across a lot of his platforms, will remain undefeated 6-0, the only undefeated remaining. So yeah, we'll move on to our last match. Tanner of the Chicago Toros versus Club, coach of the Cerulean Guardians. So yeah, let's get into this match. See the Garchomp lead into the Grimmsnarl. Very interesting to see immediately go for rocks. Obviously, Fairy move is present. And we see a Swords Dance as well right in front of it. Very bold plays here coming out from Club. I can't say I really hate them. I mean, just set up in front of it. What's the worst that could happen, right? It doesn't kill it, even with +1 Spirit Break. Um, we do see the Earthquake come out, but unfortunately, Landorus is never faster than Garchomp. So unless this Landorus is Scarf or something, this Garchomp always does well into it. See the Toxapex come out, reveals that it is not Toxapex. It is in fact Zoroark with a Dark Pulse to finish it off. Thunder Cage comes out from the. I was very surprised Dark Pulse killed. I think this thing is Specs. Very surprised to see that Dark Pulse does kill this Ceruledge. Jeez, this name throws me off from Club. Kill this Regieleki, but I guess it was Specs. Thunder Cage is not enough to pick it up. I think I've said this before. Run Thunderbolt or something on Regieleki. Run something stronger than Thunder Cage. Thunder Cage, I think this is like the second or third time I've seen this season where Thunder Cage dropped the kill because it just doesn't do that much damage. Thunderbolt does more damage than Thunder Cage. Discharge does more damage. Either one of those would have picked up that kill. But out comes the Iron Moth, able to pick up the kill in the Zoroark. We see the Toxapex come out. So this is booster special attack with +1 special attack. And the Energy Ball does a lot to this Toxapex. This Iron Moth really had a potential to go crazy here. We see the Energy Ball come out again. Obviously, I would have loved to see a read and gone for the fire move. Obviously, I understand like you want to just pick up this kill. You kind of tunnel vision, but I really, really would have loved to have seen whatchamacallit come out, a fiery dance come out, and it would have killed this Grimmsnarl. And GG, I think, from that point. But unfortunately, Grimmsnarl comes in, eats the energy ball, gets the Thunder Wave, lands it, and then see the Iron Mouth pick up the kill. I very weird to see this Volcarona come out to try and out Quiver Dance this this Iron Moth. Obviously, we see how much its Fiery Dance does, and it resists Fiery Dance. No boost there, and the Urshifu is going to come out and be able to pick it up. I really think that I think the Urshifu should have came out earlier instead of throwing away the Volcarona there. Also, would have loved to if this. Also, one thing too, if this Iron Moth is like discharge, it might win that game. To be honest, I don't know. We still would have came down to Thunder Wave. We see the Cerulette get thrown away. To be honest, so I don't want to say like this is like a play that doesn't matter. Cerulette wasn't doing much in this match with the remaining Pokemon left. But it does weird. It's kind of weird to see it come out because it immediately drops to the Wicked Blow. We see Walking Wake come out, eats the Wicked Blow, gets the Draco off. Now, at this position, this is kind of where Club is doing phenomenal. He's playing extremely well. This is kind of where this match falls apart because we do see the Draco come out with the reduced special attack. Doesn't do enough. Flip turn to the Toxapex, and we see the Charizard come out. Now, Charizard comes out on the wrong play. Draco was obviously never going to kill unless it got a crit. I don't even think a crit killed. Might have. I'm not exactly sure. So it comes out on the Toxic. Now, this Charizard is, I believe, Expert Belt Dragon Dance. We see an Earthquake come out, and it doesn't do enough. We see the Dragon Dance come out, but now the Toxapex Chilling Waters and reduces the attack of the Charizard. We see a Dragon Claw. That should have been an Earthquake. And basically the game's over from here. Had Club Dragon Dance on that turn 1, this game is over. Charizard would be able to kill, basically be able to clean up this Toxapex because it would have been +1. The Earthquake, obviously we saw a unboosted Earthquake did what, 40%? Right? I think. Yeah. 40%. So +1 would have done around 60. So it would not. There's a good chance this Toxapex, I'm pretty sure, doesn't live +1 Earthquake into neutral Earthquake from this Charizard. And unfortunately, it's going to die. And without a special attack, I do love this Hydro Pump play here from the Walking Wake to lower it without just going straight for the Draco because we see the Toxic comes out from the Toxapex. So puts this in range of a potential Draco. A Draco crit might. I don't know. maybe a high roll Draco crit would have been able to secure that game. Smart hydro pump though out from the walking wake, and unfortunately we see a Toxic Spec stall out. This Toxic Spec was a great pickup from Tanner. It was not something he drafted. It's something that he picked up later, and it's been phenomenal for him. It's helped him in both of his wins so far. But a little misplay by Club there at the end, not Dragon Dancing turn one, because if he Dragon Dances turn one, that Charizard probably wins that match. So unfortunate there from Club, a bit of a misplay there. Had a great week though. I think that was I think he made great plays early and put himself in a position, especially with his Iron Moth, went kind of crazy there, getting that special attack raise and just kind of blowing through Tanner's team. Um, Unfortunate though that we see the misplay there at the end, and no win from Club. But that'll wrap up all 5 of our week 6 matches. We have week 7 coming up. Obviously, my match will be recorded. Week 7 reviews. I'll be away next week. I leave on Saturday on a flight. So recording for me will be weird, but I should be able to get it down. Hopefully I won't have any hiccups in my schedule. This week has been crazy. I've been very busy getting ready to, packing and whatnot, ready to leave. I worked an extra day this week because I had to move one of my days around. So it's put me in a little bit of a weird position, trying to record stuff. So I'm getting this out a little later than I want to, but nonetheless, the video has been recorded and is out now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will try. I don't. So my original plan was to get a week 6 review out, like or a not a week 6 review. This is the week 6 review, but a week 6 standing breakdown, basically going over the standings and everything like that, like I did last week, because I want to start doing those weekly as we get closer to playoffs and the end of the regular season. Um, I might not be able to get that out depending on what my schedule looks like. So I'm going to try to get this out the day I record it. So I'm not sure. We'll see though. Be looking out for that. Hopefully I can get that video out. But until then, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're not in the league, if you're in the league and you're one of my coaches, thank you for watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. I do this kind of stuff for y'all. Really, I mean, I know y'all guys like watching the videos. Y'all like watching me break down y'all's matches, point out misplays, things y'all can improve week to week. I know y'all do enjoy that kind of stuff, so I'm glad I can do that for you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I want to try and hit 10 subs. That's like my, I would say it's my goal, because I don't really have a sub goal, because I'm not really like pushing for that, but I do want to try to get my subs up. I know I pull more views than I have subs, so I want to try to get my sub numbers up. So y'all please do subscribe if you've watched, if you like watching the videos and whatnot. So until then, I'll see y'all in a few days, maybe next tomorrow or so. I'll try to put out the breakdown for the standings. But until then, regardless of what happens, I will see y'all soon. So be safe, everybody. See y'all in the next video.